Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LALATE, the early edition. The one that's before the normal edition. I'm so glad you joined me. It's Sunday morning. Did you crush the Saturday? Well, one more day to crush the weekend. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And guess who's back tomorrow? Oh, God, they've worked so hard. Yes, Congress is back tomorrow. They did not go to sip some Mai Tais in Bermuda, although we probably wish they had gone to the Bermuda Triangle. But they are back, and they're going to be doing something. Other than they're here tomorrow. Sunday is their fun day along with much of the rest of the week, but tomorrow several people are going to urge them to do work which they just never seem to do, and that work will be a stimulus check. It will be a stimulus check and a bill that will be used to block them from getting their own check. Goodness, life is just sort of peculiar, isn't it? It's sort of like karma hitting just when you're about to sing karma, chameleon. It's just, yeah. So yeah, the federal government could get shut down if they don't give you a stimulus check. Does that sound familiar? I think it sounds familiar. Yeah. We've only been arguing that about 3 weeks on this channel. Hashtag stimulus check for shutdown, or 2 weeks. And now it's actually a national agenda. It's on the floor of the Senate. Can you imagine that a YouTube channel's position is now on the floor of the Senate? Because Bernie Sanders and Senator Josh Hawley will have vocally promised on the Senate floor that this coming week they're shutting down. They're blocking the continuing resolution, the budget bill, unless they send out a stimulus check. Boy, I wonder what else we could have gotten if we put it into a YouTube video. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early morning to LALATE, and there's incredible details across the board as you start your Sunday morning about stimulus check, the amount of the stimulus check, the PUA, the UI extension, the FPUC retroactive, the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, and more. And meantime, there's great calls upon Congress to do something about vaccine distribution. Late last night, Saturday night, the scandal was hitting the $12 ice cream distributor at the casino. Even the cows are just like, really? Another scandal on Saturday night? So if you've not subscribed, please do, because when there's a scandal at the casino, no one breaks it earlier to you than me. Also, I'm ensuring that people get money right now. Not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, and not 5 cow herds from now. I'm ensuring that viewers get this money for rent, food, and grant assistance across the board that's available, because ultimately Congress is taking their darn little time, and they bought themselves another 7 days of time, and 7 days is not enough even for some of the viewers of this channel. 7 days, let alone 7 hours of delaying to get a stimulus check. So what I'm ensuring is that you get money, food, a house over your head, and more. So please subscribe. Also like this video. In this video today, I'll be going over what's going on with your stimulus check for Congress. What will happen on Monday? What is all this sort of confusion about a CR? What's a CR, and how did a CR have to do with anything with your stimulus check? Then I'll be turning to $2,400 of SSDI, and then I'll be turning to that scandal. That scandal with what? Vaccines? Lord. Congress just can't seem to get anything right, let alone their hairstyle. Over there is an instant premiere. If you've never joined us on early morning to LALATE at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there's an instant premiere which allows you to chat with your Purple Power friends, and it's a great way. You see the same familiar faces every morning about 6 a.m. Just chat along, and this is an easy breezy, lighthearted, easy to wake up to broadcast. Nothing's hard hitting, and everything is just sort of relaxed, but keeping you informed to start the new day. So chat with your friends. It's a premiere, always featured at the 6 a.m. edition and the 6:30 a.m. edition. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start this morning is that Congress is involved in yet another scandal. I mean, I can't keep track of these, but there's another scandal involving stimulus. And this is not your stimulus per se, but it's stimulus for you. The new vaccines are set to take off today. Some took off last night, and they're all landing on Monday from Pfizer. These are vaccine for the virus. They were approved by the CDC late Saturday night, and they're taking off from FedEx and UPS across planes across the country. They're getting special landing from FAA officials. Airports are preparing for them to come in, but there's a little problem. There's just a little problem. The little problem is that Congress has not given enough money to the cities and counties to receive the vaccines. So cities and counties are screaming, wait a second, what do we do with the refrigeration? What do we do with the distribution? You didn't give us enough money again. You're being cheap again. Does it sound familiar? Oh, goodness. These people in Congress just can't seem to write a darn paycheck, can they? But they love their paycheck. And so on Monday, they're coming to work with about to pull their hair out at work. It might actually be a better look. But they're about to pull their hair out because they're just like, wait a second, you're holding up our check for your check? That's just not nice. Well, yeah, it just sort of works really nicely though. We just love it. And so stimulus check or shutdown is just literally like, shut up and start putting out the stimulus check or just zip it, because you have talked enough. Last week, Nancy Pelosi made a debacle of herself yet again on, was it Friday? No, Thursday. She's like, I have enough final message to make, and then see you on Monday because I'm flying off for 3-day vacation. She literally put the house on the 3-day vacation, but she wanted to tell us about how many people died. Okay, thank you, Nancy. We know how many people died in America today. We know how many people died in America yesterday. What we don't know is why the hell you haven't given us a stimulus check. I'd like to answer that question, Nancy. No, that's a hard question to answer. And so Bernie Sanders had enough. Josh Hawley had enough. AOC had enough. Elizabeth Warren had enough. Even President Donald Trump had enough. They're like, you know what? Just send out the stimulus check. What's your problem here? What is really the problem with this? And Kelly Evans, who does the CNBC Middle Day Show, who I adore greatly. She's at Kelly CNBC. She's like, I'm just shocked there's so much discussion about second stimulus on the web. It's just like, over here, Kelly. Over here, tag Kelly, like Kelly. She's like, Lord, I open YouTube and all I hear is about second stimulus checks. I'm like, yeah, this. I'm sorry. It's just a couple recordings per day here, and she's like, wow, people really want this darn thing. Yeah, and now people are realizing that people want the stimulus check now as an emergency issue. They don't want FPUC for 3 weeks, and because it's 3 weeks at $900 versus $1,200 for a stimulus check. Yeah, it's $300 more. That's the easiest one. But the harder one that people don't grasp is that FPUC is paid to rich people as much as poor people, where stimulus check is only paid to people in really need, and that no one rich gets a stimulus check because there's a ceiling on who gets the stimulus check, an income level on the 2019 tax return. So, Hawley and Sanders are just playing dirty, and I love it. I just love when they play dirty. And they're basically saying, you know what, you had that budget bill thingy to do on Monday or Tuesday, and you need to pass this budget bill, and you want extension. Well, I'll give you one more extension, but I'm not going to give you another extension after this coming week. They said this last week. We'll give you extension to this coming week, but we're not giving you another extension. And you know what? If you don't pass our bill, we're going to shut you down. It sounds like code enforcement when they come to knocking on your restaurant. It's like, do you have tables outside? Yeah, get them inside. There you go. So what's going to happen with that? What's going to happen with that is that people are going to realize you got to do a stimulus check or else. Now, there have been these, I was about to say something I shouldn't say on air, but they've been sort of misinformed senators and misinformed House members, like that horrible person, the Manchin family, and then Cassidy. I mean, where do these people come from? They're just awful elected officials. They should never be reelected. They just don't know what they're doing. Both of them said, you know what, maybe we'll get to a stimulus check next year. Maybe if we feel in the mood. It's not really urgent now. This is not for stimulus. There's no money for it. Lord, I mean, how many excuses do you make about things? This is a person who has a lot of excuses. None of them make any sense. Crush the bad excuses. So people heard those excuses like, who is this person? Who is this? It's just so that just sort of fell apart. And suddenly people understood, wait a second, you could do a stimulus check. This is ridiculous. Get the stimulus check out. Now, what's making this even more ridiculous is the $800 billion of CARES Act one. If I don't mention it for like at least one video, I get 55 comments. Is it gone? Yes, it is still there still. As of today, I just checked a few minutes ago, it's still there. The $800 billion of CARES Act one money that's currently sitting at the SBA that is unused, that could be sent out as a $5,000 stimulus check, can still be done. The president can do executive orders and still can. There's always someone in the comments that says, you said the president's going to do executive order. I never said the president was going to do executive order. Like, I absolutely am inside the president's brain cells and know what the president of Donald Trump is going to do in a second. I don't think he knows what he's going to do between today and tomorrow. So I never said he was going to send out executive orders, but the answer is he can send out executive orders down to the middle of January. He has the money, he has the constitutional authority, he has the whim, and he has the way, and he's done it before. So yeah, he absolutely can. And to remind you, there's $800 billion there. Now, I always worry every morning I wake up, not because I have to look at Nancy's hairstyle again, but because I'm worried about that there's that $800 billion will just go away. You know, there's that worry. You wake up one morning and Steve Mnuchin is like, what should I do today? Oh, yeah, let me just grab that money and just put it away. I'm just worried that money's just going to get grabbed one night and it's just sort of pulled, and he can do it. He can do it. So the longer that money is not repurposed, the worse we are. I mean, it is a concern. So there you go. PUA and UI has to be in Holly's bill. Eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance has to be in there. How about FPUC? That would come in Joe Biden's bill in January, retroactive to July. SSI and SSDI, $2,400. That would come in Joe Biden's bill. Hazard pay in Joe Biden's bill. Multiple stimulus checks in Joe Biden's bill. All those things are coming in January. And ultimately, I haven't gotten the questions yet. I got it one time, I think, on live chat, but I expect a lot of these questions shortly. Do you think Joe's going to be able to pass all this? Do you think Joe's going to be able to pass all this? Well, let me just put it this way, to the nicest way possible. Joe's talking about this plus a $7 trillion national infrastructure bill. So what are we talking about, Joe? At 10 trillion, 12 trillion, 20 trillion? Why would you do 20 trillion? Oh boy, I just don't see any of this happening at this magnitude. Someone needs to really rope it in very quickly on these spending ideas, because I just think it's just big ideas that may never formulate, because the national debt doubled in size from the CARES Act 1 of $3 trillion. So imagine Joe saying, hey, you know what? I want to do a national infrastructure bill and fix the potholes of $7 trillion. It's like, wait a second. How about you send out a couple stimulus checks and then we'll deal with the potholes? And there we are. Just, boy. Meantime, states are doing incredible God's work across the board. State extended benefits, extra weeks of UI in Hawaii. State stimulus checks, Colorado, New Mexico. New state rent stimulus, free rent in counties. And I think someone sent me a message last night. Broward County, Florida, extended the weeks to apply for free rent. Of course, Miami-Dade was doing it. Orange County, Florida was sending out a stimulus check. Nashville, Harrisburg, San Diego, all these, Atlanta are doing it free rent across the board. Then there's utility rent, and those are actually really quite exciting. What's important to understand is that all this is there for you. I want you to go get it. I don't want you to think it's not there, because it is. And what's important to understand is that it won't be there forever. I'm warning viewers that there is a sense of urgency, but on the same regard, I don't want you to use that as a way to just overwhelm the volunteers. I want this as a way for you to look. And every day I see another comment by someone says, thank you, LALATE. Thank you for the successes. What's important to understand is that the viewerships of this channel have gotten over $300,000 of CARES Act 1 money. I reported that number. I think it was maybe a week and a half into it. We're now almost 2 weeks into it. It could be $500,000 at this point. A lot of money, because I'm seeing 5,000, 10,000, 5,000, 10,000 every few hours from viewers. It's across the board. And viewers announce it in the chats, they post in the comments, but viewers don't put on platforms, hi, I got $10,000 yesterday because I really needed it and I was about to be homeless. Some viewers say, why don't people post that everywhere? Because it's a sense of pride. People have financial struggles. And the comment I saw from someone was, "Why don't people post what they got?" Because there's a sense of financial struggle, and not everyone wants to be proud that they had to turn to relief. They're thankful that they got relief, and some people deal with adversity differently. Lastly, I have a additional message to send. The volunteers are there to help get rent, food, utilities, Christmas gifts. If anyone knows any volunteer organizations that help with gifts for adults, please send that messages across as well, because people have been looking for it and we've not found that. Finally, if you are a person who is simply having stress during the holiday season, all the volunteers are here to help you for that as well. If you're having anxiety, stress, or anything like that, reach out to any of them, including myself, and we're here to chat. As always, stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling. Join me in a few minutes for the continuation of the show at 6:30. As always, have a great morning and see you in a bit. And don't forget my bacon.